quest for the Holy Grail, the pursuit of a grand unified theory, the search for the Golden Fleece. And now, a new tale shall be written in the stars of 3 stalwart heroes and their single-minded mission for the sweet elixir of life.
Oh, Lord.
Shut up, baby, I know it.
Take this old science experiment to Chapter 9. Watch out for space pirates. They do love atomic atomizing apparatuses.
We have liftoff!
Perfect vessel, surrender or be destroyed.
Just dream come true stuff.
I really hate that crap.
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Okay, you mind if we go ahead and get right into it, because I've got dinner in just a few minutes.
Okay, sure thing.
Alright. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is...
It's your boy Rascal.
Yeah, Shaboy. Shaboy.
Yeah.
That's spelled S-H-U-B-O-I. Shaboy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Rascal, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about Fan-O-Rama, a Futurama fan film.
Indeed we are, and before we get into that, I want you, the listener, to know that you can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen, listen on the go. There's a link in the description. Download this episode. All episodes can be downloaded by request. Just check out the Geeky Gentlemen playlist. I was having a conversation with people on Twitter, and they've established that we have literally talked about everything. There is a Geeky Gentleman on every conceivable topic. So if you are literally curious about any conceivable topic, go check out the Geeky Gentleman playlist. Leave a comment on one of the old episodes. Let me know you want to download it. I'll upload it to the downloading website for you. You can download it. Bam! There it is. There it is. Okay, so, Fan-O-Rama is a fan film that was getting a lot of attention. They got, like, a setup at San Diego Comic-Con. They got... You ever hear that YouTube channel, Tested?
Tested. Actually, there was a video from Tested in the related videos section.
Yeah, they did a behind-the-scenes featurette. Like, Tested's kind of become famous because Adam Savage from Mythbusters went over to there after the show ended.
Okay.
So, like, this has been getting a lot of press, and it's pretty brand spanking new, less than a month old. Before we get into it, Rasco, I'm assuming you've seen Futurama at some point in time.
I've seen episodes of Futurama, but it was really strange because the most I ever watched Futurama was in, like, elementary school. So I've seen Futurama episodes, but I don't know very much about Futurama, and a lot of that's just completely lost on me by now.
Fair enough. I mean, it's all on Netflix. It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah, it's something I've wanted to watch and just sit down and watch. But, I mean, it's on my list of things to someday check out.
It was interesting. The last time I watched through it, I was also watching through Star Trek, the original series, and that made it even funnier.
Yeah.
They'll use, like, a lot of the same songs and shit.
That's funny.
Okay. That all being said, I really, really love Futurama. Steve and I did the Geeky Gentleman on top 10 animated series, and it was up there for me. If not, I'm pretty sure it was in my top 3. So I really do love me some Futurama. I was very disappointed by this.
Ooh.
This was very, very underwhelming. And out of all the fan films we've discussed, I think that this is the first time where every single problem that I have with it can be pinpointed to production decisions. Like, knowingly made decisions from the people producing it.
Oh.
I think it is just, there are huge mistakes from a producer perspective here. What do you think?
I wasn't... Okay, so part of me was really impressed because I thought that... I think this is kind of the opposite of the Archer fan film, where I felt that, like, the Archer fan film had really snappy writing, and I really could look past any sort of, like, budgetary restraints they had because the writing was so on point, and the rest of it, they created a story that kind of fit their low-budget restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the opposite, where, like, I think that everything on a technical level is really impressive, and I'm just, like, underwhelmed and kind of can't really get into it because I didn't really find it all that funny, and it was kind of hard to hold my attention.
Yeah, there were a couple jokes here and there that I really liked. It really had my hopes up when I saw the first joke, or, heard the first joke, where it's like, it goes on and on, like your favorite television show that never got canceled. That was really funny to me, because Futurama has that whole history of being canceled, then brought back, then canceled, then brought back again. That really got me. And there are jokes in here that are reasonably funny, and that I could conceivably see in the show. Haley sneezed. That I could conceivably see in the show. But, damn, so few of these jokes feel like they're actually in the same universe as the show. So much of this just feels... It's so fan servicey. I can tell it was made by fans. I can tell these guys have a love for it, and I don't want to disparage that at all. But so much of it feels like, oh, wouldn't this just be a really fun, cool thing to do? And so little of it, felt like they actually had an idea. And I watched a couple behind-the-scenes things while I was waiting for you to finish this. In one of them, the director said, we're really excited about all the visual effects and all that stuff, but the story is the most important thing to us. And I disagree. From what you made, from what we saw, I don't think that story was the first thing on your mind here. Because even as somewhat amusing as Zap Brannigan, flashing everyone is, and even as clever and subversive as, oh, well, we don't have the budget to end this because it's a fan film. That's a subversive thing, but Futurama would never do that. Futurama was a very story centric show a lot of the time. And more than anything, the thing that separated it from The Simpsons and Family Guy and all that stuff is the show had a lot of heart. It had a lot of love and devotion, and you could feel that in how it was aired, in especially its finale episodes, which are very heartfelt goodbyes. To just end your fan film in the middle of a scene with Zap Brannigan being a goofball, really, really underwhelming to me. And if their complaint was, well, we don't have the budget to finish it, you have two options. Lower what you're putting on screen. There are things that are on screen that do not need to be flat out. Or write a story that doesn't require that much stuff on screen. I don't know. I'm talking a lot here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange because I just don't know, okay, is this supposed to, okay, it's obviously, played as a joke that they can't end the film. But at the same time, it's how can you not just be irritated by that?
Yeah.
I just don't understand how that could possibly play any other way as just irritating.
Especially when there's 10 minutes of Hypnotoad at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, you have the commercial for the death clock that's put at the end after the credits, which is, fine, whatever. Again, if you're complaining that you don't have the money to finish it, and I will give them credit, this is not a fan-funded thing, this is entirely self-funded. They accepted no donations. But if you're gonna put a commercial for Death Clock, which you don't need, if you're gonna put Hypnotoad, all the stuff on TV, there are easy ways to get around this stuff, and it wouldn't be hard, is the thing. There are tons of episodes of Futurama that don't involve super crazy visuals and shit. Mm-hmm. There are episodes that are just in the laboratory or in the break room or just on the bridge of the ship. If you wanted to put all your money into the break room and the bridge of the ship and then basic green screen backgrounds and makeup, you could have told a complete story. As it is, this feels like it markets itself as another episode, as a continuation. But that's not what it feels like, because Futurama would never end something like that.
Yeah.
And it irks the shit out of me. At first when Zap Brannigan's talking, I'm kind of laughing a bit, and then he flashes us. I'm okay, so this is the mid-credits thing, this is the mid-section, and then we'll get back to the actual story. And then the credits started rolling, and I was what?
Yeah, it's the timeline on the video tricks you, because it's a 30-minute long video, then you get to about halfway through, and then it's over.
Yeah. And, that's just... It's just disappointing. There's no other way around it. That is just disappointing. And then, other stuff with it. I was watching one of the behind-the-scenes things, and I think it was the director said, no one's ever done a Cyclops effect practically that looked good, so we were really excited to get that done. Rasco, still no one has ever done a Cyclops effect practically that looks good. I'm sorry. Okay, here's the thing. Leela, in the show, is meant to look attractive. Even, she's meant to look weird because she has one eye, but she's still meant to look attractive. Mm-hmm. I've seen the actress without the makeup on. She is certainly attractive. Putting that big old thing on her head, it just makes her look ugly. There's no way. It just doesn't look attractive. It looks bad. It looks out of character.
Roasted.
Professor Farnsworth was a very poor decision.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, it's the same actor that's playing Fry. So he's wearing 15 pounds of makeup on his head.
Really?
And, it's funny that Tested did a video on this because I'm reminded of an episode of Mythbusters where they were testing the Mission Impossible thing where they wear latex masks and look exactly like the people that they're trying to pretend to be. That whole thing from Mission Impossible. And so they tested it by creating professional studio quality latex masks, and they had Adam wear one of Jamie and Jamie wear one of Adam, and then do like a blind test with people. And once someone got like 5 feet away from one of the Mythbusters in either of the costumes, they could tell it wasn't a goddamn person, or it wasn't the person that they thought it was.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's so bulky, it doesn't move. His mouth is the only part that moved. This is a little personal for me, both because it's on one of my favorite series, so I'm going to be, a little harsher on it just because of that. And also, me, I'm more of a digital effects guy, and I certainly don't expect a fan film to do expert quality motion capture effects for facial features. But goddamn, get another actor and put some lines on his forehead. I'm sorry, that was a poor production decision. I'm just tearing this apart. You take us somewhere.
I was just gonna comment on that. Like, it's strange that he in particular was not just an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they wouldn't just get like an old guy.
They say, like, they act like it's so clever, like, oh, well, he and Fry are related. I don't care. You can't tell it's Fry under it. It's just, it could be literally anyone.
I forget, how did you feel about, what's his name? Is it like Zoidberg or something like that? Like the crab guy?
Yeah, Zoidberg, I think he looked as good as he possibly could. Again, he doesn't move a ton in the face. And they talked about it's really hard to translate a cartoon to live action like this. And that's certainly fair. But just, Zoidberg just, like, he's so pointless to the whole thing. There's so many drop plot threads here. Because, like, he comes out of the trash can, and he does, like, a dance. And we spend, like, a fairly significant amount of time on him doing a dance. Which would be fine if we got a conclusion to this story. We just get it's like so many dangled plot threads. I would not be nearly as hard at this. I would still be pretty down on the effects overall. I don't know what you could have done about Leela. I'll be fair to that. I don't know what you could have done about Leela. Professor Farnsworth is, in my mind, inexcusable. And, like, it's not like they're bad at makeup. Did you realize that the actor playing Fry had a fake nose on?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, like, they could have done good, subtle makeup to a person, but, like, I don't know. I'll give a pass on Leela as far as effects go. I don't think it looked good, but I'll give it a pass because I don't know what you could have done if you don't have access to the CG technology. Access and, importantly, know-how. But there's so many, like, bizarre decisions. And Zoidberg, I could give it a pass, too. It's just, like, I'm so much harder on everything because of how disappointed I am in the way this ended. It's just unacceptable to not end your fan film. I'm sorry, writing a little scene with Zap Brannigan doesn't excuse it for me. And, like, let me ask you this. Do you think that it originally ended that way?
I don't know. I looked at the comments on this video, and I saw that the creators left like a response saying that there's like a hidden story within the story. I don't know what they're talking about. They say, and then there was like a clue they left, like you have to open something that's always closed. And I was like, does that mean I have to watch it with closed captioning on? Like, I was so confused. So I don't know. Maybe that was like, if you go back and pay attention, like the joke is that there's a bunch of dropped plot threads in this, and then like the whole episode just drops halfway through, and that's supposed to be like a joke. I don't know. It's so strange to me.
You have to open something that's normally closed. I don't care. No, fuck that. That's not okay. Futurama did shit like that too. Futurama did subtle jokes that if you did research and you actually like spent time thinking about it, then you get the joke. But it didn't require you to do that in order to get it. Futurama had 2 alphabets. 2 completely original alien alphabets that would be on signs and graffiti and shit just in the background of scenes. And they would put jokes in those alphabets. So if you took the time and translated it, you could get another joke that someone else that just watched the episode and didn't know that wouldn't get. Futurama did that. Futurama would not do an episode where it ends halfway through and that's the joke. It's so just bitter. And it pisses me off. I'm like legitimately angry about this. And then, I don't know, man, I watched the Tested video and the guy came on and he's like, he wasn't involved with the thing. He was just the host of Tested. And he goes, I'm on the bridge of the Planet Express ship. It's actually the set of what is possibly going to be one of the greatest fan films ever made. Hands down. Completely objective opinion. No. Not on your goddamn life is this even close to one of the greatest fan films ever made. Not on your life. Oh, man. This just, literally, like I said, filled with poor decisions from a production standpoint. It's perfectly feasible to do a good Futurama fan film as a bottle episode. They just didn't do it.
Yeah. I think that it's... like I said, I've seen episodes of this show, so I do know at like the kind of pace at which it moves. And I saw a comment on this video that I really agreed with. And I thought back to Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright's a director who directs his movies in a way that they're almost like live-action cartoons. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the tricks that he uses to get that kind of vibe is a lot of quick cuts and fast-paced delivery of lines. And I saw someone leave a comment that they thought this would have been much more accurate to the show if it had been a little bit more quick and a lot of more like quick edits and line delivery. And they thought that it felt kind of off. And while I haven't seen the show in a while, I do think that's probably a rather accurate statement.
I'd agree with that. There's a lot of distant shots, and I can appreciate some of that just to show off the fact that they actually did a set and all this stuff. And I'm being so hard on this, and it's really hard for me to be kind to it anyway. I will say, the set design of the break room and the bridge of the Planet Express ship, good job on that. Really great subtle details. It's not like they just shot it in their room and pretended it was the break room. They clearly built a set. A lot of great set design elements. The use of a green screen when they're like walking around the Planet Express ship, that whole section looked great. I was really impressed with that. But to your point about like quick cuts and stuff that would add to the comedy, yeah, because like, you remember that shot where Amy just falls the fuck over?
Yeah. Okay,
now Amy is a klutz in the show, so her falling over would be fine. I don't think the show would ever do something like that in slow motion, though. And don't quote me on that, I'm not 100%, but nothing is coming to mind for me when a character would just randomly fall over as like a gag, a pratfall, and would put it in slow motion in that way. If anything, she would just fall and the camera would keep moving. It wouldn't linger on her fall whatsoever.
I agree. That's one of the things that I was talking about where like, I think that would have been funnier had it kind of just been like sped up. Mm-hmm. And, like, you just not really linger on it. Like, you could even do the kind of lingering shot on that if it was just quicker. Like, you could use the exact same shot, speed it up a little bit, and then just cut back randomly, like it was just barely there for a second. And it would work better. And, yeah, like, that was one of the things that kind of stuck out to me.
I'd agree. Okay, so I'm trying to be kind, though. What'd you think of Bender?
I thought I was pretty impressed by for one, I was just impressed by like his mouth in particular. Because I was wondering how they did that, and I think they probably had like two like pipe cleaners or something in his mouth, and they like pushed them to like I don't know how they. I don't.
Oh, it's all remote controlled. It's really interesting.
Okay,
it's animatronic. Yeah, he's animatronic. Got a lot of different like I think they said 5 puppeteers work on him in any given scene. Got like rod puppet handles on his arms and stuff like that. Yeah, I quite liked Bender. I thought he looked really good, except when he was walking.
Towards the end. Or actually,
I mean,
he was also walking in that one scene where they're going.
Yeah. There's just a couple times where he's walking, and that doesn't look very good to me. It's too slow. It's not very coordinated movement.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's true, and I don't know if they could have really done anything more than what they were doing there. I just don't know. Like, I wouldn't know how to fix that issue. But overall, like, he looks good when he's, like, sitting on the couch and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought when he's, just chilling around, he looks fine. I like the way they integrated his, like, reacher arm thing a couple times.
Yeah.
Where he, like, high-fives Fry from across the room or whatever.
Yeah.
That was fine. There is a lot of great attention to detail in the set design. Like, they even have HAL 9000 on the wall.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to ask you, if that's, like, from the show or not.
In a couple episodes. Now I'm trying to remember if he's, like, introduced in one episode and then is always there, or if he's just there for, like, a couple episodes. But I know there is, like, a HAL 9000 looking thing that Bender ends up dating. At one point in the series. So yeah, I was listening to the director talk about this, and he and the actor that plays Fry are friends, and they're hanging out one day when the actor has his hair up, and he goes, "Wow, you look like Philip J. Fry." And apparently that was the thing that made them decide, or made them start talking about making a fan film. And I can kind of tell.
That's the inspiration? That's where it came from?
Then it's just, you kind of look like him. And I hate to be this negative on something. I can tell they put a lot of work, and I can tell that everyone was sitting around looking at Leela and the eye and going, wow, that looks so good. Even though it doesn't. Like, I can tell that they didn't think that it looked bad, but just pretended to act like it looked good or something. No, I believe that they thought it looked good. It does not. It's just, there's like this whole thing on her head's bulging out. It's horrible. I don't know, man. It's just, I had a hard time with this one. I was really hoping that this would be something a lot better than what it is. Unfortunately. Sigh.
Just left cold and empty.
Yeah. Again, Futurama is something that, like, wouldn't be hard to do well, because you can get away with a bottle episode. For them to put this much effort into doing a space thing, and then just cop out halfway through, was very disappointing.
Yeah, I can see. It's irritating. It's kind of like one of those things that just feels definitely unexcusable when you see how, like, much resources they had to make the sets and everything look good, and it's like, it bothers me so much when I feel like the last thing that was paid attention to is the story.
Yeah. That's really it. Like, this looks like it's a set design concept or a makeup concept test before it looks like it was a well thought out fan film from a story perspective. And I'll give their production designs a lot of points. A lot of my score, even though I don't like the way things look, I will give points for being, high production value. Would you agree with that? Would you say that the production design definitely does get this higher than it might otherwise be?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. You ready to go ahead and go on to ratings then?
Yes, I am.
All right, you go first.
I think I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this fan film a 2.5 out of 5 Nixon's heads because... Yeah, I just kind of agree with you. It really bugs me that I feel like the last thing that anyone seemed to care about was the story, and maybe... I'm not going to, really try to give it the benefit of the doubt here. It just feels kind of lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things, I complain about. It's like when I watch a fan film like that Archer fan film, I'm really impressed because I'm like, oh, see, they're clearly making up for where they can't do anything but just accept what they have to work with, and they're making up for that by really trying to focus on the writing. And this, they didn't really have any excuse to not focus on the writing.
Yeah. And I mean, if I'm going to give them any excuse, I can maybe say, maybe it kept getting bigger as they were going, so they had to try and fit more and more Futurama stuff in it from, production value standpoint than they initially intended. Regardless of that, though, the final product is the final product, and that's a very disappointing final product. So I'm torn. Wait, what'd you... Oh, yeah, you gave it Nixon heads. I'm going to give it... I can't decide between 1.5 and 2, so I'm going to go 1.75 tits that blinked. Did you notice that one girl with the blinking tits?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's in the commercial. The one girl has nipples that blink.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's another thing. Why would you put all that stuff into the commercial? It doesn't need to be all that. There are commercials on Futurama where it's just a guy in a room. Mad. I'm mad. I'm not happy with this. Okay, Rasco. I ask because I know you won't have an answer. What are we talking about next time?
We're going to talk about a fan film I've not watched at all. So, could be anywhere on the spectrum of quality. But it's called The Flash Fan Film. The YouTube channel is Epic with a K, Films with a Z, and it's 48 minutes long.
Oh, okay. The Flash Fan Film. Okay, 48, 56.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually been in my watch later. I've been meaning to go to it at some point and see if it was worth anything. So now we will, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Okay, should be exciting. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Fan film creators, if you saw this, sorry, but I'm sorry that if I pissed you off. I'm not sorry for what I said, because that's just how I felt watching this. Alright. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm what was it that we came up with when we were talking about the alien stuff? The xenophobe, xenophile? What was it?
Xenophobe. It was xenophobe.
I'm a xenophobe.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things. Like how Rasco has so many sign-offs he can't even remember them all.
Yeah,